Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa idha sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qareeb ujibu da'watad da'i idha da'an. More than 1400 years ago, one day a man came from the middle of the deserts and entered the mosque of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His clothes had dust on them, his hair all messed up. But he came into the company of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when he left, the Holy Prophet of Allah, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said about that man, "Rubba ashasa aghbara law aqsama ala Allahi la abarra." That there are people that by their physical appearance might not appear as if their hair is well kept, that their dress is well cleaned, but they are so dear to Allah Ta'ala that when they say something, then by God, Allah listens to their prayer. Now imagine how much more so is that true about the Khulafa, people whom Allah Himself establishes on this earth so that Allah's unity, His Tawheed could be established on the land. So today what I want to present before you are a few glimpses of some of those incidents, faith-inspiring incidents of the acceptance of dua, acceptance of prayers of the Khulafa. The verse which I have recited is taken from the Holy Quran, wherein Allah the Almighty says that when a servant of mine asks you, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about me, tell them I am near. Ujibu da'watad da'i idha da'an, and I answer the prayer of the supplicant when he calls upon me. Hazrat Khalifatul Masihur Rabi rahimahullah ta'ala delivered a Friday sermon on the 25th of July 1986. And Hazur mentioned that our Imam, our missionary from Nuremberg, Germany, Mukarram Abdul Basit Sahib, wrote to Huzur something which was very, very interesting. Abdul Basit Sahib reported about a local Ahmadi member whose immigration case was in the courts and the hearing and the final decision was due. So this Ahmadi started writing a letter to the Khalifa of the community, to Khalifatul Masih Rabbi rahimahullah ta'ala. And while he's writing this letter, sitting next to him is an Arab who is not Ahmadi. He just happens to be there. And this Arab goes to this Ahmadi Muslim and says, "What are you doing?" And the Ahmadi man replies, "I'm writing a letter to my Khalifa." He said, "Whatever was worldly possible for me to do, I have done it. I have the lawyer. I have my paperwork in place. So everything which was possible for me to do, I've done it. Now I am writing to my Khalifa so that his prayers can work in my favor." So he wrote the letter to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabbi rahimahullah ta'ala, and 3 days later he got the response back as well. Back in those days, you write a letter and within 2 to 3 days you would even receive a response back if you were in Europe. So this man received his response on the third day from Khalifatul Masih Rabbi Rahimahullah Ta'ala. And the day he received his response, the same day, the German court approved his immigration case. This had a very profound effect on that Arab friend of his. So his Arab friend requested him, could you also please write a letter seeking prayers of your Khalifa for me? So this MD wrote a letter to Huzur explaining that Huzur, I was writing a letter and this Arab friend of mine saw me write a letter. So he explained the whole background. And then he said, Huzur, I'm requesting you to also pray for this non-MD Arab friend of mine as well. So Huzur prayed for him and Huzur sent his response. That, don't worry, I have prayed for you. Allah Ta'ala, inshallah Ta'ala, will bless you. The day that Arab received the response in writing from Khalifatul Masih, again the same day, that Arab man's case got approved as well. So now, it became the talk of the town. People started talking about this in their circle, that an MD man wrote to his Khalifa and the MD Khalifa's prayers are answered by Allah Ta'ala. So another Pakistani friend who was not MD heard this waqia, this incident. So he approached this MD Muslim and he said that there is a family member of mine who has been bedridden, who has been sick for the longest time, and the doctors have not been able to diagnose the exact illness as to why this man is sick and what is he ill with, what is he down with. So could you also write to your Khalifa if he could pray for this relative of mine? So again, this Ahmadi Muslim wrote a letter detailing, Huzur, I was initially writing a letter and this Arab saw me, and then you also prayed for him and his case got approved, and now people are talking about this. And here's another friend of mine and he's requesting me to request your prayers. So Khalifa Rabi Rahimahullah Ta'ala prayed for him and sent a response. And on the letter, it was dated. The letter was dated, so the person knew that that's the date that Khalifa Masih Rabi Rahimahullah Ta'ala prayed for him. And to his amazement, when he received the letter, the date on that letter was the same date that by the grace of Allah, the doctors were able to successfully finally diagnose what this man had. And as a result of it, they were able to cure him. To a worldly eye, this might be a coincidence. But to the eyes of believers, this is no coincidence, my friends. It happened once, twice, 3 times. This was no coincidence. 4th of May, 2008, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamis Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz was visiting the Far East countries. And on that specific day, it was a Thursday, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamis Ayyadahullah bin Nasr al-Aziz was in Fiji, one of the Fijian islands which is known as Nandi Islands of Fiji. And around 2:30 a.m., super early in the morning, tahajjud time, people from Rabwa and London and other parts of the world started calling the mission house where Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Aziz was staying. They had just heard on the news that the neighboring island to Nandi, Fiji, was just hit with a tsunami. And the intensity of that tsunami was so strong that the Indonesian tsunami looked like a walk in the park in front of the tsunami. Those of you who might not be familiar with the Indonesian tsunami, hundreds of thousands of people died as a result of the catastrophe which that tsunami brought forth. So naturally, all these MDs were fearful, and they were calling to inquire if everything was okay. But obviously, in the middle of the night, there is no way that a message could be sent to the residence of the Khalifatul Masih. So people waited until the Fajr Salat. And at the time of Fajr Salat, Hazur Ayyadahullah bin Aziz came out of his residence, and Jamaat officials presented this report to Hazur that Hazur, it's been on the news that the neighboring island has been hit by a very powerful tsunami, and it's on its way here. And they're saying that this island is going to be wiped out. And they, of course, requested Hazur's prayers. Hazur went to the masjid and led everyone in Fajr Salat. It is reported that Fajr Salat was very extensive, was very long, especially the sujood. The prostrations were very, very long. Hazur took his time and he prayed, he cried his heart out. But when the Salat was finished, Hazur turned around and addressed the members of the Jamaat. And the words of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz were, Fikr na kare, Allah Ta'ala fazal farmayega, kuch nahi hoga. Do not worry whatsoever. Allah will show His grace, Allah will have His fazl. Everything will be fine, nothing will happen. After saying this, Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Nasr al-Aziz went back into his residence, and the office holders of Jamaat went straight to the TV. They turned on the TV to watch the news, and now on the news they were saying that the intensity of the tsunami has started to deteriorate. It has started to go down. 2.5 hours later, they were showing on the breaking news that the tsunami has dissipated altogether, that there was no more tsunami anymore. Next morning, the newspapers in Fiji bore this headline, that the fact that the tsunami died out without hitting Fiji is no less than a miracle in itself. But we, the Ahmadi Muslims, know that this miracle was brought forth by the prayer of that one man, who is our beloved Imam, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Nasr al-Aziz. This was no coincidence. In 2005, Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz went to Canada, Western Canada, and he was going to lay the foundation for the Calgary Mosque, Masjid Noor. And the day before, the Amir Jamaat of Canada at that time had a mulaqat with Hazur Anwar, in which he requested that Hazur, tomorrow is the official bricklaying ceremony for Masjid Noor, but the weather channels are reporting that tomorrow at that time, actually the entire day, there is going to be a severe thunderstorm. So I'm requesting your humble prayers. It is mentioned that Hazur paused for a few moments. Most likely he prayed to his God. And then Hazur looked up at the Amir Jamaat Canada and said the following words. जिस मस्जिद का संगे बुनियाद हम रखने जा रहे हैं वो भी खुदा का ही घर है और मौसम भी खुदा के हाथ में है, इसलिए इसको खुदा पर छोड़ दें, अल्लाह फजल फरमाएगा. He said, we have gathered here to lay the brick or the foundation of the house of Allah, and weather is also in the hands of Allah. So leave this matter in the hands of Allah. Allah will show His grace, Allah ka fazal zahir hoga, and everything will be fine. Next day, the ceremony began, and there was not a single shred of cloud. Nothing. It was a 2-hour-long program. The program happened. And then as soon as Khalifatul Masih sat in his car and the door was shut, right there and then, a thunderstorm came and it started to rain. And then it rained for the next several hours. Was this a coincidence? Of course not. Our missionary Sahib, Mukarram Imam Luqman Ahmad Sahib of Ottawa, Canada, he once mentioned that in the year 2015, when he was stationed in Quebec City, and he got this email from Jamaat that one of the politicians at a state level, at a provincial level, has shown interest in going to UK Jalsa. So Jamaat asked Imam Luqman that you go to UK Jalsa this year as an official representative of Jamaat Canada, and you accompany this French politician. Imam Luqman says that this state politician had the honor of meeting Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah bin Nasr al-Aziz along with Amir Jamaat Canada. And at that time he says that Imam Luqman was also blessed to be present in that room when this meeting was taking place. So over the course of this meeting, this politician requested Khalifatul Masih that it is his personal desire that next time Hazur Anwar visits Canada, that Hazur Anwar also visit Quebec, the province of Quebec. And this politician will make sure that there is a state-level welcome for Khalifatul Masih and a dinner organized in Hazur's honor. So Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah bin Nasr Aziz turned towards Amir Sahib Canada and he said, when you make your plan, look at the feasibility and then let me know. So everyone was excited. Next year was 2016, and in the month of October and November, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Nasr Aziz visited Canada. But few days before Hazur visited Canada, or maybe a few weeks, the program was presented to Hazur, and Hazur okayed every single item on that program. But he put a cross mark in front of his visit to Quebec. He did not give any explanation. He does not need to. He just crossed it out. And he said, this part or this leg of the trip is not approved. Everything else is fine. So the program was sent to Jamaat Ahmadiyya Canada, and their National Public Relations Secretary, Asif Khan Sahib, spoke with Abid Khan Sahib, Hazur's press secretary. He said, we put so much effort into this, and finally, now that we're able to secure this program, Hazur Anwar has cancelled it. So is there a way if this could be, re-looked at, if Hazur could reconsider this? And of course, once Khalifatul Masih has decided, his tawakkul then is on Allah Ta'ala. So Abid Khan Sahib most likely did not go. Imam Luqman says that Abid Khan Sahib said to Asif Khan Sahib that, the decision is from Hazur. So obviously nothing can be done now. The trip began, Hazur landed in Canada, and as the trip was happening, one day, the PR secretary, Asif Khan Sahib, went to Abid Khan Sahib and said, the same politician who had invited Hazur and was playing an integral part in Hazur's visit to Quebec was just arrested in a personal scandal. And had Hazur agreed to visiting Quebec, he would have been photographed with that politician 2 days before this politician was arrested. So he said this to Abid Khan Sahib, and Abid Khan Sahib went to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Nasr Aziz. And he said, Hazur, this is what just happened. Hazur said, when the program was presented before me, I looked at the program, and when I came to this leg of the program about Quebec City, something just didn't feel right in my heart. So I crossed it out. So this is how Allah Ta'ala communicates with the Khalifa of that time. There is another incident of somewhat similar nature. But this time around, I myself am one of the people who witnessed it. The year was 2008. My class had proposed to Jamia Ahmadiyya Canada and through administration of Jamia Canada to Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis If Hazur Anwar would so permit that my class be allowed to go and travel to Qadian and spend one entire semester over there. Of course, as a result of this, our Urdu would improve. And not only that, but we would be able to benefit from the spiritual environment of Qadian itself. And of course, this was the centenary year. And Hazur Anwar, inshallah, will be visiting. So we will be able to do some duties over there in Qadian, take part in the Jalsa, the historic Jalsa, and then meet Khalifatul Masih and then travel back. So Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasir Aziz approved this program. It was okayed, we purchased the tickets, and many of my classmates actually departed from Canada. Some were in Europe and some were already in Pakistan, in Lahore, about to cross the border. If I'm not mistaken, this was probably the month of July, 2008. I was in my home, my flight was due in 2 or 3 days. I got a phone call from Jamia's principal, Maulana Mubarak Ahmed Nazir Sahib. May Allah Ta'ala give him long and healthy life. And he informed me on the phone, he said, Beta, Hazur Anwar ki taraf se fax aayi hai, aur Hazur ne ye trip cancel kar diya. No reason given, nothing. He said, my son, I just received a fax from Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, and Hazur Anwar has cancelled this trip. So do not leave. मेरी क्या मजाल थी मैं आगे से कुछ कह सकता. I said, as you say, sir. I canceled my flight, and those friends of mine who were already in Europe, nothing could be done. Those who were already in Pakistan, about to cross the border from Wagah border, Lahore, into India, they requested if they could be given permission for 3-4 days to visit Qadian and then return right back. So that permission was given. But everybody was shocked. Nobody had a clue what just happened. Fast forward to 3-4 months later, it was the month of November the same year, 2008. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Aziz has landed in India. And if I'm not mistaken, he was at that time in Delhi. And the city of Mumbai was attacked by terrorists. And the entire nation was put on red alert. And the state official who was meeting Khalifatul Masih, he said, we would be able to provide security for you should you want to continue and go to Qadian. And Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasir Aziz responded that I am worried about thousands of members of my Jamaat who will be traveling because of my presence in Qadian. And of course, the government was not able to provide security to all of them. Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah bin Aziz cancelled the rest of his trip and he went back to London. The point that I'm trying to highlight here is that when Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Aziz says something, even without giving any explanation behind it, when he makes a decision, the decree of Allah the Almighty is working behind it. 3 years ago, I was about to get married, and I wrote to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Aziz that, Hazur, you're very graciously getting me married in Pakistan, Rabwa. So, allow me to apply for my wife's visa. Those of you who have gone through this visa process, you know that it's at least a year-long process. So Hazur's reply came back to me, in which Hazur Anwar Ayyadahullah bin Aziz said to me that he is giving me 1 month off, that I should go get married, apply for my wife's visa, and then bring her with me. So I went to Pakistan, and the Jamaat officials who were there to coordinate with me or help with me, they said to me in a very funny way, they said, we've been sitting here for the longest time. We have sent many families, Ahmadi families from here to USA. It's at least a year-long process. So hold your horses. Don't think that it's going to happen within a month. I said, okay, we'll see. So we applied for the visa process. We applied for the interview, and the interview date came. And I was not allowed to enter the American embassy in Islamabad. So I had to sit outside while my wife went inside the Islamabad embassy, the USA embassy in Islamabad. And I had told her that, I am here on R1, and R2 visa is by default approved anyways. So the most they can do is they can take some time for security clearance, and that's about it. So don't worry, be confident, and inshallah ta'ala, we've already written to Hazur, so inshallah Allah ta'ala fazal farmayega. Allah will bless us. She went inside, and about 45 minutes later, she walked outside, and she was shocked, and she told me they rejected the visa. They rejected the visa that was sure not to be rejected. So there was nothing we could do, and they handed her over. They handed a yellow piece of paper to her which stated very generic reasons why someone's visa is rejected. But in our specific case, their main argument was that your husband does not have a US visa on his Canadian passport. Now the funny thing is, on a Canadian passport, I do not need a US visa. All I get is a piece of paper that gets attached to my passport that says that this is the equivalent for the visa. Hence, I can live and I can work here. But the people over there, they probably had not seen this piece of paper before, and they were used to looking at that shiny sticker, which they call the visa. So they rejected. And they said, until this issue is resolved, until your husband gets this kind of a visa on his Canadian passport, you cannot reapply. You can't do anything. So I called here. I informed the Jamaat headquarters here in USA, and they said, okay, well, nothing can be done. We'll look into some, Ahmadi lawyer, and then we'll see what can be done. So you start packing your bags and start making your way back home. We came back the same day from Islamabad to Rabba, and I wrote a letter to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah bin Aziz, and I mentioned this dilemma to Hazur. I mentioned that, Hazur, the restriction they're placing, there's nothing I can do about it. It's like a bad loophole of some sort. I can't do anything legally to address this issue. 2 days had gone by since I had written this letter to Khalifatul Masih, and I got a phone call around 8 or 8:30 in the morning in Rabwa. I answered the phone, and it was somebody who was speaking with me in Pakistani accent, but English, and said to me that he's calling from the US Embassy from Islamabad, and then asked me for my credentials, my name, and I verified it. And then he said that, could I speak with your wife? You had applied for her visa. Could I speak with her? So I handed over the phone to my wife, and then she was speaking with them. And here is how that conversation went. The man on the other end of the phone said, we did an internal review, and we came to this conclusion that we made mistake, and we apologize. Send in your passport immediately, and we will reconsider. But this reconsidering can take up to 2 to 3 months. So we sent the passport immediately the same day from Faisalabad. And about 5 or 6 days later, we received this email that the visa has been issued, come and collect your passport. So I went, collected the passport, came back, and I went back to the same Jamaat office holder. And while I was speaking with his colleague, this office holder came from behind me and he said, Hanji Rabbani Sahab, ho gaya interview, karali tasalli, that got the interview done, got rejected, satisfied now? Didn't we tell you so? So before I could respond, the man that I was speaking with said, congratulate Rabbani Sahab, his wife got the visa. So now the man was shocked. So he said, okay, well, whenever you leave, take your wife with you then, I guess. So he said, this is why he's here, to inform us that he's leaving today and his wife is going with him. So this is how the prayers of Khalifatul Masih get accepted. And the reason why I'm mentioning these waqiyat in front of you is so that you can connect on that personal level with Khalifatul Masih. Hazrat Khalifa Rabi Rahimahullah Ta'ala in his Friday sermon of 25th of July 1986 said, तो ये कैफियतें बंदे और खुदा के ताल्लुकात की कैफियतें हैं. सिर्फ मुझ में ये कैफियतें देखने के ख्वाह ना हो. Don't expect to just see the sign of the acceptance of dua in my person alone. अपनी ज़ात में ये कैफियत देखने की तमन्ना करें. Desire to see such signs in your person as well. अहमदियत इस तरफ आपको बुला रही है. अहमदियत is calling you towards this path. अहमदियत आपको पीर परस्ती की तरफ नहीं बल्कि खुदा का दोस्त बनने की तरफ बुला रही है. अहमदियत is calling you so that you become a friend of Allah Ta'ala and not someone who worships a friend of Allah Ta'ala. इसलिए ये सारे वाक़यात सुनाने का मकसद सिर्फ इतना है कि हमारा ओढ़ना और बिछोना दुआ ही है और दुआ ही हमारा ओढ़ना और बिछोना हमेशा रहनी चाहिए. The reason why I am mentioning these incidents before you is so that you understand that prayer, supplication is everything for us. It has been and it always should be. खुदा से ज़ाती ताल्लुक़ में जमात अहमदिया की ज़िंदगी है. In your personal relationship with Allah lies the life of this जमात. और ये ताल्लुक़ किसी एक इंसान के ताल्लुक़ के नतीजे में काफ़ी नहीं हो सकता. And this connection is not going to be sufficient only because of one man's connection with Allah Ta'ala. बल्कि बकसरत दुनिया के कोने कोने में हर अहमदी को ये ताल्लुक़ के ज़ाती तौर पर कायम करना होगा. However, he says, in different parts of the world, in multitudes, Ahmadi Muslims have to establish this connection with their God. और अपने इलाके के लिए इस इलाही ताल्लुक़ का निशान बनना होगा. And you have to become a sign of Allah the Almighty's existence by having that communion with Allah. And then Huzur said, और ये एक मुश्किल काम नहीं. And this is not a difficult task. बल्कि सब कामों से ज़्यादा आसान है. Rather, it is the easiest of all the tasks. आज ये मैदान खाली पड़ा है. Today, this field is wide open. आज अरब हा अरब खुदा के बंदे ऐसे हैं जो खुदा की तरफ पीठ करके और दुनिया की लज़्ज़तों को मुंह के सामने रख कर चल रहे हैं. There are billions upon billions of such people, such creation of Allah Ta'ala, who have their backs turned towards Allah Ta'ala. कितने हैं इस मैदान में जो खुदा को खुदा मानकर पुकारने वाले हैं? How many are there in this field who call upon Allah Ta'ala believing that He is their God? बस हर वो आवाज़ जो खुदा को समीम कल्ब से याद करेगी. Therefore, every single voice which calls upon Allah Ta'ala with the firm intention of the heart. हर वो आवाज़ जो कामिल यकीन के साथ अपने रब को पुकारेगी. Every single voice that calls upon its Lord with perfect belief in Him. मैं आपको खुशखबरी देता हूँ कि वो आवाज़ ज़रूर सुनी जाएगी. I give you glad tidings that that voice will be answered. Wa akhiru dawana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.